Can you taste the Everclear?
I can taste the cherry.
Yeah, there's no Everclear. I was just telling lies.
I don't know if you've heard, but Pelicans have only one loss in Saturday home games this year, so could be the boiled peanuts.
This could be my produce stand's boiled peanuts. If you make the best decision at the best moment with the best information available, then I feel like you can go home and feel satisfied about it.
Aloha. I'm Sam Weederhaft. He's Ryan Moore, and this is Behind the Scenes, presented by RipTydz, Oceanfront Grill, and Rooftop Bar. We are in the middle of our season now, wrapping up the month of July. Just had a great 9-game homestand. We faced the Carolina Mudcats for 3 games, and then the Columbia Fireflies for a 6-game series and more. It all ended on Sunday. It was a rain-shortened game, but Marino Santi threw a no-hitter through 5.
Yeah, that was a nice little cherry on top, just like your beverage over here. You should try one now. I asked them for the special cherries. These are soaked in Everclear for 48 days.
Ow. Okay, so they're aged.
Yeah, so go for it.
Without your cherry.
Can you taste the Everclear?
I can taste the cherry.
Yeah, there's no Everclear. I was just telling lies.
Okay, so let's get into our fan-submitted questions in this episode. There's some fun ones I've looked at going into this, and this is the perfect question I want to start off at. All right, do you believe in baseball superstitions? Now, for example, when a broadcaster mentions a no-hitter every half inning, you answer, and then I've got a response.
Should not be spoken if it's your club. If it's the other club, all you're doing is reporting on the facts, and we don't have a vested interest in their success, so fire away. But if it's our guys, I don't know how you walk in the clubhouse if you were to say, entering the 6th inning, we got a no-hitter going, and then first batter, gets a hit, and then you got to go in there, and they're like, Sam, why would you even bring it up?
I try and stay away from the actual words no-hitter. I will say no hits.
Come on, that's not a discernible difference.
You say no hits, that gets relayed back to the pitcher whose no-hitter was just blown up. And you go into the clubhouse, they're like, Sam, why would you do that to me? And would you legitimately argue and be like, I didn't say no hitter, I said no hits?
Yeah, probably. We took a no-hitter into the 8th inning a few weeks ago.
Yep.
And first hit from the other team came in the top of the very first batter who came up. And I try and dance around it, but at that point, it's the main storyline of the game, and you can't, you don't really make a big deal, but you just say, Columbia Fireflies are hitless through however the inning. So, and I run that risk.
We can agree to disagree.
Yeah. Well, okay. Any actual superstitions you're doing before each game? Is there something you do before each game that's kind of become routine to you, or what's your kind of routine?
No, I don't. Every day's different, really. On Saturdays, I stop at the produce stand and pick up boiled peanuts, but that's not out of superstition. That's just out of liking boiled peanuts. And they're not ready when I come to work on a weekday, and they're closed on Sunday. So Saturday is my only day to get fresh boiled peanuts on my way to work.
I don't know if you've heard, but Pelicans have only one loss in Saturday home games this year, so it could be the boiled peanuts.
This could be my produce stand's boiled peanuts.
What is your most embarrassing moment working in baseball?
There's no moment that I can look back on and be like, wow, I was embarrassed and feel good about my mom hearing, because she watches this. So I'm gonna abstain. I'm gonna plead the fifth on that one and just say I don't have that. I haven't had the tarp slide. I haven't fallen and been eaten by the tarp monster. Knock on wood, I haven't been hit with a foul ball. There's nothing that I can point to where it's something genuinely embarrassing.
Every game has just gone very smooth.
No, that's far from the course. Smoothness does not equate to embarrassment, or lack of smoothness doesn't equate to embarrassment. But no, I can't think. This is going to be the superstition of a no-hitter. Where you asking this, and we're going to do a tarp pull on the first game of the next homestand, and I'm going to get swallowed up by it.
Well, I'll tell you mine, but we went around the front office, and some members of our team had embarrassing stories themselves. So check this out.
My most embarrassing moment in my time in minor league baseball was had a chance to dress up as a horse mascot in a little bit of a horse race. And at the time, for the theatrics and the fun of it, my coworker and I decided to plan like a trip in a fall to get the reaction of the fans. In tune, I decided to trip and fall, landed on my shoulder, and hurt it. And I still have like a bump on my shoulder here today that I've never gotten adjusted.
My most embarrassing moment, I was texting with somebody about purchasing season tickets and accidentally sent a kissy face emoji instead of the thumbs up.
My most embarrassing story from minor league baseball probably came from a tarp pull. Thankfully, it was not in game or in pregame in front of thousands of fans. It was just in front of our staff and some other businesses in the building that overlooked the ballpark. But we'd gotten the tarp on, and it was pretty windy, so we were holding it down. But I chose to stand on the tarp, which anybody who knows, that's a bad idea. Before I knew what had happened, a big gust of wind came and flipped me horizontal to the ground, and down I went. But a little painful, certainly embarrassing, but lesson learned. Don't stand on the tarp.
Wow. Those were some doozies.
Great stories from around the Pelicans. I'll tell you mine. Frankie Scalzo had just come to us from the complex, and he was drafted prior. But I go out and I want to introduce myself to him because he's from Southern California. I am, and I go out there and I go out to right field during that.
Is that how you introduce yourself? Like, I'm from SoCal too.
I'll think if the guys from SoCal, sure. Hey, I'm from Orange County.
All right, I'm sorry. I shouldn't interrupt. Go ahead.
He's standing down in right field. They're taking batting practice. He's shagging. And I'm talking to him, and I'm across the line, right? I'm in fair territory. I'm talking to him, whatever, and then that gets done. I walk off the field. We got the game, and that's that. Next day, I get a call from Mr. Buddy Bailey. It says, Sam, I saw you out in right field. Just want to let you know that you cannot cross that line. That is, the media cannot cross that line during batting practice. And I was thoroughly embarrassed. That was at the end of the year. Wow.
You get off the phone and you're just like, darn it.
It won't happen again. And it has not happened again. And then you follow with 2 years. Learning opportunity, but an embarrassing moment. All right, last one. One more to go. Okay, Moore, when you're headed home after a game, what makes you say, we got a great?
Probably execution. Execution can be looked at in a myriad of different ways. Did we execute in our sales? First off, like, are there people there? Did we execute our operations? Were there hiccups? Of course, there are every night, but did we work through them? Did we do everything possible to give the players a place to compete and develop? And then ultimately, do I feel like the fans left having a good time? If you make the best decision at the best moment with the best information available, then I feel like you can go home and feel satisfied about it. But when do you leave the ballpark and feel the best? That's when you got a sellout crowd. That's when the team wins. That's when the stadium is rocking. And those moments are, I don't want to say few and far between, but those aren't the majority of the nights. But you strive to get to have as many of those nights as possible. And the nights that aren't sold out and the team doesn't do as well, you still want people to leave the ballpark and say, wow, that was a good time. I had a lot of fun.
There's so many factors that go into it. There's so many behind-the-scenes things that happen that go into each game. But you mentioned the team winning. Pelicans win, I'm happy. So, or if we win and good things happen on the field, then we're all set.
Then you don't mess up a no-hitter.
Don't mess up a no-hitter. If I don't jinx anything on the broadcast, Pelicans win, then that's a good day. Fans will join us in Myrtle Beach for Pelicans games. We have plenty more coming up in the month of August and September. But some exciting nights too.
Yeah, 18 regular season games left, a minimum of one postseason game, which I hope we have at least 2. But yeah, coming up this next homestand, we have Deaf Awareness Night, which has become an annual staple for us at the Pelicans. This started years back, where we have an ASL, American Sign Language themed jerseys that our players wear. We have interpreters in different areas of the ballpark. Probably the most prominent ones are the ones actually seating in the seating bowl, signing whatever our PA announcer is coming out. So that's always a fun night. Baseball is for everybody, and it's just another night to bring some new people out to the ballpark. August 13th is our Touch a Truck event. That's where we work with pretty much anybody in town that has a big truck or a big vehicle, and we park those all around our hill and our parking lot, and kids can climb in them, adults can climb in them. Just another added experience around the ball game. And then we come back with Dino Night Part 2. We had Dino Night in, I think it was April, the first Friday game of the season, and had a boatload of people out, and we're bringing them back out for round 2. We've got animatronics, we've got them throwing out first pitches, we've got a dinosaur hatching, fossil explorations. There's a ton of different things going on with that night. That has quickly turned into a annual fan favorite. And I'd be remiss not to talk about probably the biggest promotion that we have remaining is the Carolina League playoffs. Southern Division Championships Game 2 will be held September 14th at Pelican Stadium. Game 1 will be on the road at a opponent to be determined on the 12th. So we will have that ability to watch that game on MILB TV. And then on the 14th, we'll have the game here in person. It's a best of 3 series. Game 3 could be necessary. And then the following week would be the Carolina League Championship, where the North Division champion and the South Division champion play. And we would be hosting games 2 and 3, which I believe is the 20th and 21st, or the 19th and 20th. We can put it right there at the bottom. But still a lot of baseball left. Regular season run out of 18 games, and then playoff baseball at the beach. There's really nothing better. Midweek games doesn't conflict with, high school football, college football. Come on out to the ballpark. It's a good time to see probably the most meaningful games that we'll play all season, and look for us to try to capture a ring. Because I think on a previous episode, you never gotten a ring.
You got a ring? No.
Hashtag get Sam a ring.
Yeah, let's get that going. I love that. So a lot of good things to look forward to, but that'll do it for this episode of Behind the Scenes, presented by RipTydz Ocean Grill and Rooftop Bar. He's Ryan Moore. I'm Sam Wiederhoff. We'll see you next time.